Hello, and thank you for joining us on this wonderful Tuesday for Lunchtime Soul Food with your boy RayVin. I was thinking about it, and Mondays are usually the days where I do silly videos with Larry and Jack or myself and all that good stuff. Yesterday being the exception because I had some prior engagements I had to take care of, mostly honeydew list from the panda. But if you guys would like to see a Lunchtime Soul Food on Mondays, because for me, my week doesn't start till Tuesday because I'm off on Mondays, not to be I already think that that's just how my work schedule is. And I know a lot of people hate Mondays, and if you want some encouragement on Mondays, let me know, and I'll throw up a Lunchtime Soul Food on Mondays as well. Let me know in the comment section below. I'm gonna give you a quick heads up. This video is gonna be heavy on my religious side of views, because I actually got a note from YouTube from somebody who noticed something I said in one of my other Lunchtimes and wanted me to discuss my feelings and my thought process on something. I'm gonna go ahead and I'll say this up front. I am not in the objective or in the job of throwing things at you, converting you. I just don't think that's how you're supposed to roll. I am simply sharing with you my personal beliefs, my mindset, and my heart. I'm going to be as real with you as I possibly can here on Soul Food Weekly or Daily, whatever I like to call it. So I just want to give you a heads up. It's going to be a little bit heavy on RayVin. So you've been warned. Just saying. The message actually reads, in your last video, this is sometime last week, you said you were a children's pastor. Does that mean to say you are a devoted Christian? If so, why, and what inspires you to be so? I am agnostic, and I am not interested in changing anyone's views, but I am curious on how religious people actually think about religion. Like, do you believe the Bible literally, or just the teachings, etc., and etc.? P.S. I am agnostic because I agree with the idea of religion unifying people, but I am skeptical about how much of a grip it can take over people's lives. Okay, so let's tear down this question as we go. The first question was, does that mean you're a devout Christian? Yes, I gave my life to Jesus when I was 11 years old. It was my first week. No, take that back. It was early in my career as a junior higher, as we call it, the not high school but not elementary age, like 6th grade to 8th grade or 5th grade to 8th grade, whatever it is. And it was during a worship service for our chapels that we had weekly, and I had been born and raised in the church, and I guess I never had that moment where I actually connected with Jesus, from what I felt. And it was during that church service that it just hit me hard. And from that day, I gave my life to Him. I devoted myself to serve Him for the rest of my life. So yes, I am a 100% devoted Christian. Now, the word Christian gets thrown around a lot, though. I am not in the belief, well, we'll get into that later because that goes along with religion, what inspired me to be so. I was inspired, first of all, was during the youth service that I mentioned. It was just a great service. The worship was amazing, and the pastor just nailed some targets that just hit me hard. And I realized that day that the world was bigger than me, and there was something out there that was bigger than me, and He loved me. And I decided that day to serve this loving God for the rest of my life. And and that word right there, love, is what I cling to. Personally, I don't believe in looking down upon people, having a holier than thou persona. I live by the adage, is if how can you share love with people how can you give love to people with your hand? How can you give love to people when it's so firmly clenched on the stone you're ready to throw at them? Because that seems to be something that goes, I don't get it. A lot of Christians believe it's okay to judge others, to look down upon them if they don't believe the same thing we do. And it's just, how can you, I can't personally see how you can share love when you're spewing hate. And it just, a lot of churches just, they don't understand that. Jesus didn't go around spewing hate to people. He hung around with people like thieves, murderers, prostitutes. He hung out with that kind of people and showed them love. He showed them love in every aspect of his life. How can we do any different and still call ourselves Christians? That's my personal belief on the Christian foundation. And you asked about the religious point of view. Religion is okay if it's not used to control people. I agree with the part of unifying people with the use of religion, but not controlling them. That was a big thing with Catholicism back in the day. They had like an iron fist on people, like you have to do this and this and this and this and this, or you won't get into heaven. And that when religion is used to control people, you lose the aspect of church. You lose the aspect of making that relationship with Jesus. And I know that sounds crazy to a lot of people because nobody can actually see Jesus, smell him, feel him, hear him. Because you mentioned you're agnostic, the guy that sent me the net letter. And the actual definition of agnostic is one who believes that it is impossible to know whether God is there, or one who is skeptical about the existence of God but does not profess to be a true atheist. Not to saying that you're leaning that way or anything. You said you're agnostic, and that's what I'm going with. I'm just going by the actual dictionary term that they have on dictionary.com, because I couldn't tell you it verbatim for myself, so I looked it up. I cheated. But like the reason why you can't, this is true, you can't prove God exists. You cannot physically put God into a bottle and say this is God. You cannot put him into a box. You can't put him into a room. You can't put him into an open area, because you can't. God is a being beyond our understanding. We cannot see him, and we never will be able to see him until that day our life here ends and we go stand before him. Like I said, this is all from my point of view. This is me. This is me being real with you guys right now. I'm not trying to convert you or anything. I'm just telling you from my point of view, my perspective. And you're right. We cannot physically prove God exists. Just like we can't physically prove a lot of things exist. A lot of people, like there's plenty of ideas up here in my head, and they're electrical impulses that go in the brain, but you cannot physically bottle the ideas that I have in my head. You cannot see the ideas that I have in my head, but they're there because you see me every week putting videos out here. And I've had enough proof in my life to see God's work in my life and in others to know that he exists. When I was young, I had a knee injury. It was a bizarre injury, like right underneath my kneecap. A part of my knee, right underneath the kneecap, died. Like it was dead. There was no calcium in it. It was in danger of actually breaking off and falling into my knee and just destroying my knee. And that was big for me because I loved to play sports back then. I still love to play sports, but I was into baseball, basketball, football, soccer, everything I could get my hands on, I played. And the doctor said if I didn't take it easy, that thing would chip off and would destroy my knee, and I'd be done. I wouldn't have to put a pin in my knee, and I would never be able to play sports again. And it freaked me out. So he told me for the next few months after they told me that initial diagnosis, just to walk, don't run, don't do anything extraneous, just calm down, relax, and let your knee heal. So I did that for months, and that was tough for me because I was a happy-go-lucky, get going, move kind of guy. But the knee hurt so much when I run, I had no choice. I had to stop. And we went back to the doctor, and it didn't get any better. It looked like it was getting worse. So I didn't know what else to do. So that night, that Sunday after that doctor's appointment, we went to a worship service, and we actually had the head pastor. I go to a non-denominational church, by the way. I'm not Baptist, I'm not Lutheran, I'm not any of that. I'm non-denominational, and just throwing that out there. And he prayed for my knee and actually put oil on my knee. That's a symbol in the church to anoint something with oil, to put a blessing over it and all that good stuff, if you didn't know about that. And I took it easy for the next few weeks, and then the next time we went in for an x-ray, the doctor looked at my knee and it was 100% healed. The dead knee had come back to life. It was alive and well, calcium was flowing through it perfectly, and he couldn't believe it. The whole thing came back to life in the amount of time, the amount of speed from the last time he checked up on me. And a lot of people say that's a medical miracle. I call it God. That's how I know He exists, because of what He did for me. And I see it happen to people all the time, getting healed from cancer, getting healed from a whole bunch of different stuff. That's how I personally believe and know God exists. But being agnostic, you're right. You physically cannot prove God exists. It's true. You cannot physically prove it. But to me, there's enough things going around to understand that. To me, I believe in God. And the last thing you asked is, do I take the Bible literally or just the teachings? I take the Bible 100% literally. I believe it was written by those that God chose to be informative, to fill out the words, and I believe the Word of God is God. God's Word. That's just what I believe. And yep, today's soul food was all about me. That's cool. Tomorrow it will not be. Tomorrow I actually have another topic based on another person who actually has a couple of problems that he's dealing with in his life, and he actually wants me to discuss here on Soul Food, Lunchtime Soul Food. So yeah, that I look forward to for Wednesday. But that's all I got for you today on Tuesday. If you have any other questions at all that you want me to discuss here on the show, make sure you message me here on YouTube or send me a tweet over on Twitter at RayVin, and we'll get your stuff talked about, because I'm here to help you guys out. I'm here to help give you encouragement, motivation, and I'm here just to help. I want to help as many people as I can. So I hope that answers all your questions, Mr. who sent me the message, and have a great Tuesday, and we will see you tomorrow for Wednesday edition of Lunchtime Soul Food. Peace.